Elon Musk, he made a comment, it was a little scary, but he said that we probably won't see it, but we'll get to a point where listeners, I'm here with Yannick from Lead-2-Customers. Thank you, Yannick, for joining Blueprints to Bookings. I appreciate it. How are you today?
Hi, Robert. I'm doing fine. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, this is great. So, to get started, tell us a little about what sparked the creation of Lead-2-Customers. Did you see a specific gap in the market?
So what did we see? Why did we create Lead-to-Customers? We work with software companies. And what we do is we build out the frameworks and the building blocks and like the fundamentals to start growing. What we noticed was that a lot of those SaaS companies had different systems to do their marketing, to do their sales, to do their customer success. And all the data was scattered. Another thing we saw is that they don't have the in-house expertise to do inbound marketing, for example. So what we help them with is building out those foundations and also getting those inbound marketing approach ready to grow and to build. And that's something we saw that because they are usually in a starting scale up startup phase, they don't have that in-house expertise or the people, or they don't have the resources to attract those kind of people.
Right. Yeah, that seems to be an issue across all business types, right? And especially in today's day and age, technology. And as a startup, most companies are single member or dual member, and they try to do everything. So you guys specialize in helping companies accelerate, right? Accelerate growth through data-driven marketing and automation. In your experience, what's the common mistake you see businesses make when trying to scale?
That they think it doesn't work. What I mean is like they try it themselves, or they hire a freelancer or something to do, for example, a Google Ads or a LinkedIn Ads, and then they see that it's not working because it takes time, it takes effort, and none of the marketeers out there have like how do you call that? Like a glass ball where you can see predict the future. Nobody can predict the future, so it's something you need to test, you need to scale, and you need to prepare the budgets for it in order to make it work.
Yeah. I think most business startups' biggest issue is the co-founder or owner tries to do everything. In reality, they're the roadblock that's preventing them to grow, right? It'd be much better served to delegate a lot of their automation and strategies to a company like yourself and let them focus on their actual product that they're trying to do. You come from a very strong background in software, company expansion, and global business development. Can you share an example? I don't understand, names are probably not able to be shared, but could you share a specific challenge, growth scenario that you've tackled, and perhaps one traditional marketing approach where it wasn't enough? It could be SEO, SEA, or CRO.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to talk names, but one of a very big case was on Google Ads front. They were spending a lot of money on Google Ads, but without any goal. They didn't have a goal in mind, like what do we want to achieve? So the current Google Ads that they had was like running to build awareness actually, while the management was expecting new revenue, new business, new leads that would come in. And that's one of the very big case that we tackled, where we build out that framework on Google Ads, where you had your awareness page, which is really important when you're targeting a new market, or when you're targeting a new country or industry or whatever. You need to build that awareness and make them aware that you are alive and that you exist. But then the next stage is that you build that consideration phase where you tell them, okay, you know who we are. Now let us explain you what we help you with. So, and then the last phase is where we help them to make the decision like, hey, first thing is like, this is who we are. Then this is what we can help you with. And then the third phase is like, okay, you need to do it with us because we're the best. So that's a kind of the funnel that we created for them while they were just doing that top of the funnel, actually, that awareness phase, while they were spending a lot of money. There was one of those clients that told like, yeah, we think that our Google Ads is not working, that our industry is not ready to be addressed through Google Ads. And I was like, that's practically impossible. I think everybody's on Google or on Bing or whatever. Everybody's using those tools. So important to use it. just the way you do it.
And in terms of ads, Google is probably the most successful, right? It's the best tool for companies to have awareness, right? If you're only bringing people into the top of your funnel, that's not good. You need to get them to the middle of the funnel, and then you need to get them to the bottom of the funnel, which is actually the sale, right? Or the
It's the same as sales, huh? You need to convince somebody. You need to
yeah,
convince somebody, like I said, what you do and that you're the best. It's the same when you pick up the phone and you call somebody for the first time. You're not gonna start off with, I'm gonna sell you something. No, you need to build that relationship, build that trust, and
yes,
show the value that you could bring.
that's 100% right. And the people that do that well or succeed. There's a lot of companies that I know that their ad spend on Google far surpasses the revenue they bring in. Um, they're not willing to maybe acknowledge that they're not doing it as well as they can be. It's tricky, and it's not something you can, in my view, it's not something you can try to tackle yourself. I mean, this is something you need to let someone who does it every day that understands the approach and the outcome strategy to be able to be successful at it. Um, and I think that holds true for social media advertising too, right? To put yourself out there in social media, whether you're running ads in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, right? There's an expertise, there's a talent that's required there to be successful.
Yeah, and maybe something I would like to add there is you need to find a way to have like a multi-touch attribution, we call it. Like, don't only do it on Google Ads and think that's your golden egg, but try to test each channel and see where those people that you want to address are, because it's possible that not everybody's on Google Ads, but some people might be on LinkedIn, some people might be on Facebook. So it's important to have like different touch points on different platforms. It's also very
Oh, I
important.
agree. And I think, to use an example, I think Facebook kind of has, in terms of business advertising, I think Facebook doesn't get the credit in terms of its power that it should, right? I think people think Facebook is like a family tool, like kids are on it and people are surfing, right? But in actuality, Facebook has somewhere around 52,000 data points on every single person that's on their platform.
Yeah.
And to be able to harness that strength where you can geo target or specifically target your ideal client is very powerful. And that takes a skill.
True.
So I agree 100%. You have to be representative across. You got to A/B test. I'm not saying you spend money on LinkedIn if you're not getting any traction on it. You don't continue to spend money there, but you would never know that if you were just on Google, right?
Yeah. And also on those advertising platforms, like the analytics and the data you get back from it is
Yeah.
also so valuable. I can tell you, okay, these are the people that are actually interested in your product. So
Yeah.
even if you're not winning those new leads and you don't see like your spend is being higher than your actually revenue that you get out of it, well, also consider all the data you get from doing that advertising campaign. It's also super
Yeah, that
valuable
data is
for the
valuable,
future.
right? It costs money, right? It's a powerful tool. And to expand on that data that you give, I think we can agree that any business that's able to pivot, right? Pivot and be light on their feet have better odds of being successful. And having that data given to you by like Google Analytics, right, enables you to pivot because you might be going down a path that's your data's telling you that that's not where you need to go, right? You need to be over here. So it's so important for businesses to be able to pivot knowing that information because running blind usually doesn't work out.
That's true. And also give it time because all those tools have algorithms in place. So it takes some time, especially on a platform like Google, before he really understands what you do and who he can address with your ads. And for example, for Google Ads, keep it at least running for 3 months at least before you can say like, okay, this might be a bad channel for us or we're not doing it correctly. It takes time to do so.
Right. It takes Google Analytics to kind of warm up and understand where you need to be headed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like I never really Yeah, and that's a really good point, right? Because, 3 months for a startup is a long time, right? It can be, right? If they're trying to push a product or trying to deliver on something. So 3 months can be uncomfortable for a lot of businesses. That's valuable information. You can't give it a couple weeks and say, "Oh, this is not working," because chances are you're probably making a mistake. That's great content right there. um, yeah. So digital automation is a key part of your offering, especially with tools like HubSpot, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
How do you help clients integrate these powerful automations without losing the personal touch? Because I think it's so important with the boom in AI. And I think that's ultimately when we look ahead, that's going to be the perfect chord you can strike is people still want this face to face. They want to know that they're dealing with a person, right? So how do you integrate all these powerful tools and keep that personal touch?
Yeah. So I think that's also a bit the power of a CRM tool like HubSpot. Right? It gathers all the data he knows about a certain contact, about a certain company. You can personalize your email outreaches based on all the properties you have in your database. HubSpot also now has got like AI features where you can build AI properties that gets filled in based on certain activities and certain things he know about somebody, and all the data can be used to make that personalized message. Because believe me, the number of personal outreaches by somebody sending you an email by typing it out is so low
Right.
nowadays. Everything,
Yeah.
even you now have even like sales outbound tools, where you receive a video or even in a meeting and that person is not even there. It's like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
an AI
Yeah.
bot that's talking to you and it looks like me and is acting like me, but it's not me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's going to be so true. You're going to see that, right? When I was coming through my professional career, you were in a conference room in a meeting, whether it was in your corporate office or your client's office, and you sat around a table. Well, nowadays with the technology, with avatars and stuff, like everyone could be in a different place in the world. You're conducting that meeting as if you were all sitting around a table, which is amazing, and it's already has changed the landscape of how people do business. But I think as we move forward, um, it's really going to change the landscape, and it's going to change. Like I think you're gonna be forced to work harder at building those customer relationships, right? Because it's going to create a background or an atmosphere, for lack of a better term, of how people look at doing business, and it's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And we're essentially on the ground floor of this. And I say this to a lot of people. I got a lot of things wrong in life, but there's two things I feel I got right in life: is I married my wife, and I sized up COVID as being the catalyst for the biggest technological boom this world will ever see, and that's AI. Right? It's AI has been around a long time. Right? People weren't aware of it 5, 6 years ago, but it's been around a long time. I feel and truly believe AI is going to just dwarf what the dot coms did for us in the 90s, right? So, yeah, it's interesting. It's fascinating. And I love to hear people like yourself in business where you see AI going. And if you were to look ahead 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we all have our opinions. I think for the most part, we're probably wrong to some extent. But what major trends in digital marketing and what you specifically do that these companies should pay attention to?
Yeah. I think AI has got a lot of positive aspects, also a bit of concerning aspects. And
Yeah.
let's start with the concerning aspects. For example, I use ChatGPT all the time. Whenever I'm writing an email and I don't have the time or the patience to write it out nicely, I just put it in ChatGPT, it gives me a reply. But we need to take this into account that this can be dangerous as well, because if we do this too much, we're gonna stop thinking for ourselves. And also those things are getting smarter and smarter, and maybe in like 5 years of time, they are gonna be smarter than us. And then we
Right.
need to still keep that control over them. But anyway, if I look at marketing on this perspective, then it's very important to start doing GEO, the generative engine optimization, where the LLMs need to be able to read your websites, to read who you are as a company, and the way we do marketing and the way we want to be on those platforms have changed a lot. It's kind of the SEO, but then for LLMs. There are some important aspects as a company where you need to look at it. Don't just use your website, but also be present on different platforms. Like if you're a SaaS company, go and put yourself on G2, go and put yourself in Capterra, make sure you have reviews on those platforms so that the LLM also see from a different source that you're a good company. Make sure your website is fully optimized, make sure you have blog posts on other people's websites so that that LLM can really see, for example, it's Lead-2-Customer. Okay, so they have their website. This is all I can read from it. But I also see that they are recommended on the HubSpot directory as a partner. Or we can see that they have a blog post published by some other author talking about them. So make sure that as marketeers from a SaaS company or any other company, to take those things into account and to be present on those different aspects.
Right. Yeah. I kind of look at it two ways. One, when you ask a lot of people, do they use AI? It does ultimately come back as, yeah, I use Chat GPT every day, right? Which is, the Kleenex of AI. It's a very powerful tool. And I do a lot of what you do. If you get lazy, you don't have the time. And I rely on Chat GPT a lot. But for businesses, I think as we move forward, it's not just Chat GPT. You have hundreds of different other AI tools that can be small language models they're easier and more trainable to do a specific task than a large language model, right? So as businesses grow and move forward, and as AI grows and moves forward, there's a lot more out there in AI that can help businesses than I think most people understand. But I think we're a little premature in the fact that around the world, there's no framework around it currently right now, right? That has to be established. And I think it's going to become more critical faster than what everyone thinks. Because to your point, it's getting smarter and it's getting smarter fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I've been using tools like Ample Market, which uses it's an outbound tool, but it uses a lot of AI. You just tell him who your persona looks like who do you want to speak to, and it's just gonna start doing the outreach for you. And it even got like you don't even need to write the email anymore or the LinkedIn message. He's gonna do it for you based on the profile of the other ones. So those AI tools on outbound are getting super smart. Also, I think it's HeyReach who's got that tool, and that's like that what I just explained, like that tool that goes into a meeting for you, or he records a video for you. He just captures your face and he's gonna act like you, explaining your business. Imagine the efficiency it can bring you as a human being, just giving your face and letting it go into meetings and giving you back like the transcript of your meeting.
It's going to make businesses more successful, more profitable, more efficient, right? Time is money. And if you're able to harness AI tools to help you free up large swaths of your time in your day, it's only going to be for the better. I don't know where I stand on, well, I do, but time will tell. You heard the news, like Amazon just, got rid of 14,000 people for AI. And then you have these other companies that are laying off. I think FedEx just laid off like 10,000, UPS. I think you're going to see that across industries for specific tasks, like for Amazon and FedEx for their hubs and their distribution centers. It makes sense, right? AI, they don't need healthcare, they don't take vacations, they don't take lunch, right? They're 24/7. And when you have companies like FedEx, UPS, Amazon, Walmart, it just makes all the sense in the world. They'd be doing themselves a disservice to not implement these AI tools. But that said, I don't think it's going to be these mass layoffs across all industries where people are going to be jobless. I think what AI is also going to do is it's going to create other opportunities for people, right?
Yep.
It goes back to that real important word. People have to be able to pivot. And the people who pivot are going to be successful with AI. and as it grows within our society. Elon Musk, I don't know, it was a year or 2 years ago, he was asked, where do you think AI is going? And for everyday person. And he made a comment, it was a little scary, but he said that we're going to get to a point, we probably won't see it, but we'll get to a point where the government pays a stipend to everyone in the country, right? Everyone's going to get a salary from the government because AI is going to have, absorb most of the jobs within the country. Maybe it gets there, I don't know. What I don't think is going to happen anytime soon is you're not going to have a robot coming into your house to fix your sink or wire an outlet. Maybe down the road, but I don't think it's anytime soon. I mean, I think we have the technology, but I just don't think it gets incorporated in society anytime soon.
I think we first need to, like you said, there needs to be a framework, a security framework around it,
Yeah,
built by the government before we even can start building robots based on AI. Because if
yeah,
there's no framework and companies just start building robots based on I think we're not gonna survive.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Would you like to share anything else to the listeners about Lead-to-Customers or any other insights you may have as it pertains to AI in the future?
I do want to give a comment on what you said about jobs. I think people need to
Yeah.
adapt based on new world where AI plays a crucial and important role. And like you said, jobs are being laid off, which is really true, and that's very sad to hear. But that's nature of business, I think. When technology arises, people are less important than the technology. So it's on us to change on how we do things. Every job
Mm-hmm.
can change. Every job evolves. I see it in my job. I see it in my colleagues' job. I see it in our clients. Everybody adapts. All our clients are starting to build features based on AI because that's like, yeah, if you speak AI, everybody wants to buy it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just how things are going. Everything is evolving. And if you lag behind and you don't change, then you're gonna be laid off, then you're gonna lose your job. Then so I think everybody needs to do that.
Yeah. It's so important. It's been a great conversation. I had a lot of fun. I want to thank you for joining. I think our listeners are going to glean a lot of insight off our conversation, which is awesome. Appreciate it.
I hope so.